I love a good crime drama, and when it's infused with a mystery, I love it even more. Reptile stars Benicio Del Toro, Alicia Silverstone, and Justin Timberlake, and it is now available on Netflix. Now, it's got a neo-noir vibe to it, and the twists, they're convoluted, but can it maintain the intrigue all the way through the movie? When a young real estate agent is brutally murdered, a hardened detective attempts to uncover the truth in a case where nothing is as it seems, and by doing so, dismantles the illusions of his own life. This is an oddly told story. The pacing is slow and deliberate, but also very captivating thanks to the twists, misdirection, and red herrings that are thrown into the mix. We follow Benicio Del Toro's detective character as he works a murder case of a young woman who's the girlfriend of Justin Timberlake. Now, Timberlake is also a real estate agent, and he comes across as a bit sketchy. But the beautiful thing about this movie is that just about every character has a sketchy vibe to them, Del Toro included. He's married to Alicia Silverstone's character, and they have made the move to a new city and state after some difficulties Del Toro had at his last police assignment. Now, this helps to establish doubt in Del Toro, and when this info is mixed with his guarded and secretive behaviors, it's very easy to believe that something fishy is going on with him. He also has a strange and maybe even strained relationship with Silverstone. He's naturally suspicious just based on his job, but the feeling that's created by conversations and unspoken looks, it communicates that there have been, or even currently are, some difficulties in their marriage. But at other times, they also work as sort of detective partners, so it's difficult to discern how their roles will ultimately work within the mystery. There are also several other detectives that Del Toro works with, and because of the wonderfully cryptic dialogue that's exchanged, each person brings a small level of uneasiness to their integrity and their trustworthiness. The story has several prongs that feel like they're all going in different directions. With Timberlake and his mom, played by Frances Fisher, there's an odd aura with the relationship. I mean, it's not quite Oedipal, but just less than normal and a bit off. But also, as info is uncovered, some pieces begin to make more sense and come back around so that they're no longer tangents. Now, I do think there are some details in depth that go unexamined, but the info is there and it's easily inferred. It's just not blatantly spelled out. Now, there's also a wild card character played by Michael Pitt. He is peculiar, and his whole persona just gives off the vibe that he's bad news. Now, I loved the nuances within his character, both in his acting with small physical quirks and then in his storyline. I mean, tiny details that have huge meanings and ramifications are shown, but if you miss them, they're gone. He's also a volatile character with uncertain reactions to basically any circumstance. Now, the movie is on the longer side at 2 hours and 14 minutes, and because it's got this neo-noir aesthetic to it, the pacing is patient but purposeful. Now, I didn't get bored with the narrative, but I could feel the time, especially as the camera would expertly just sit on a character who is pondering something or staring at a piece of information to try and determine what's being missed. Now, I love these parts because it removes the non-stop momentum that's present in so many movies. There isn't non-stop dialogue here. I mean, we're given some nice segments of just introspection, quietly watching the characters go through their thoughts. There are also long, cinematic sequences that work to highlight surroundings. And some of these, they're very rural. So the beautiful countryside builds the sense of isolation and then even danger as a character ventures towards a suspect location. Now, I appreciate the slight grittiness to the filming quality. That, and coupled with the more drab color palette, gives a feeling that's similar kind of to a gangster or mob movie. Characters interact with each other with a large sense of dread hanging in the air, like there's a threat that is present and imminent, but it's unspoken. And this ill-defined unease is just a wonderful narrative device because it not only establishes the uncertainty of characters, but also can greatly increase the doubt surrounding them. And there's also urgency that's slowly building, especially as the film reaches its final act. I mean, pieces are coming together, but they're still obscured and vague, forcing us to work the mystery along with the characters, and that in itself becomes captivating. Now, for the mystery portion of the movie, I think it's handled really well throughout most of the story. Now, I guessed at a few different outcomes, and while I was right on one thing, I had also dismissed it in favor of something else. So the narrative does provide enough doubt to be able to shift focus from one suspect to another. But that being said, there comes a point towards the end of the film when a reveal happens, and I think that comes too early. We're given an answer that then makes the following scenes much less tense or even surprising. Now, had the reveal been held longer, or at least shown more subtly, the end would have a larger impact and shock value. So overall, Reptile is a patiently delivered murder mystery, filled with so many flawed and sketchy characters that any one of them could be the perpetrator. Del Toro is understated and withdrawn, expertly capturing an inquisitive detective with a damaged past. While the reveal of the mystery does arrive too soon, reducing the impact of the finale, everything that comes before it is riveting with uneasy tension. There's no sex, some nudity, a lot of profanity, and some very brutal violence. I give Reptile 4.5 out of 5 couches. So what's your favorite murder mystery movie? Let me know in the comments below. If you enjoyed this review, please give it a like. Also, don't forget to share and subscribe. I'm Chris. This is Movies and Munchies. Thanks for couching with me.